Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to answer a question from a viewer about the current van build that I'm doing. So he's got a couple of great questions. I'm going to go through them and hopefully I can put some good B-roll into here so that you guys can understand more about his question. So I'll just read the whole comment. You're clearly skilled at building. Thank you. I've been researching van life and van builds for almost 3 years and hoping to begin this year. I'm excited for you. Let me know how that goes. Your video is one of the first ones I've seen where you didn't insulate before building or gluing material vehicle carpeting on the floor and panels. I'm not a builder, so I was wondering why you did that. I'm all for learning. Also curious, why did you go with the 150 instead of the 250? I asked because I'm looking at the Transit 250. Thanks, Nick. So why did I not insulate before building or gluing down the vehicle carpeting? So I did. That is in a future video, but the part that you saw in that last video that I did was kind of like a highlight of kickstarting the build. I did not insulate the back floor of the van because that's going to be the garage area, and this van is multi-purpose. I use it for DJing weddings. I use it for my handyman business that I have. So it's a multi-purpose van. It's not necessarily just a van for van life, camping, stuff like that. So I needed to, so a couple of the constraints I had during the whole entire build process was, how do I fit a dual 18-inch subwoofer in the back of that van? It's huge. I mean, if you guys know about subwoofers, this is a professional, huge subwoofer. Hopefully there's some B-roll going right now. So the back of the van where the garage is was not insulated. It's just carpet, so I get the maximum height. Also, if you carpet over the ribs, you're able to decrease the surface area, so it's easier to push equipment in and out, slide it in and out, kind of like the bed of a pickup truck. And that was a way to get that subwoofer, that was pretty heavy, in and out easily. So that was the base foundation. Second, the bed frame goes over that, and then there's like a partition so that if I had to slam on the brakes or something else happen, all that equipment will be contained back there. So that was the priority number one in the back. Why I did not insulate the floor. The other part of the van is insulated. I use the Formula half-inch 4 by 8 foot sheet of this Owens Corning board. It's called Formula. It's a rigid foam board. It's used for sheathing, like on houses, so it's insulation sheathing. The reason I use that is specifically because it's rigid foam board. It's really important to get rigid foam board. I think it's also called closed cell foam board, and the reason is because it can be, you can stand on it, walk on it. It can hold up a force. When you have your base of your van floor, so we're moving on from not insulating the garage. Now we're talking about the interior of the van, and this is how I did it. So I use this foam board. And then once I had the ribs and I put pieces of, it's actually screen porch, like lattice rail. I put that down because it's a perfect height. I think it was like a 1/4 inch. And I put that down first in between the ribs. And then once I did that, that made a foundation so that I could actually put this rigid foam board on top of. Now I'm going to flush insulated base. And then the second thing I did was cover that with a 1/2 inch of 4 by 8 birch plywood. And it's pretty expensive. What's nice about it is it's very light. It's very strong and durable. You'll find that if you get the cheaper plywood, it tends to kind of move around on you. This stuff is solid. So what I did is I took that 1/2 inch, put it on top of the 1/2 inch foam. I painted it so that there wouldn't be any problems of moisture or anything like that. And then I covered it in a vinyl stick-on plank flooring. Super cheap. In a future video, I took that completely out and I changed it. Just for purposes of this video, that's what I put on there. That's what you guys are seeing in the time lapse right now. So that is what my floor consisted of. What's nice is when you build a floor like that, you can drill into it 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch screws, and you can kind of build off of it as a foundation. So not only are you using the sides of the walls of the van to kind of square in stuff that you build, you're building from the floor up as well. And it just makes the building process easier knowing that you can tap into the floor to drill into it if you need to. So I do have insulation, just not in the back area where I didn't need it. I'm going to have insulation on the interior, the wall, and then the top of the bed, which I will insulate underneath that bed area. I went with the Transit 150 instead of the 250, pretty much because when I was shopping around, it was really hard to find a van that was not white. Every single van is white, and I didn't want a white van. I had some type of color, so I came across a 148-inch wheelbase silver van, which is really nice. It's not the typical white van. And then I chose the low roof instead of the mid or high roof because when I do DJ, sometimes I need to go into parking decks. I went to one parking deck with this van, and I was only 2 inches from hitting the concrete beams. Low roof van is what I need to do my weddings and events. In the future, I would like to put a 4-wheel drive system in it, lift it. Once you do all that, the van's already going to be pretty high. And then in the future, if I decide to do another van build, I probably will go with a high roof. But yeah, that was a lot to kind of cover as far as insulating in the floor. If you guys want to see a more detailed video about the floor installation, I will have that on my Patreon page. So it'll be long format, showing the whole entire process about putting in the floor, if you're curious, as well as how to carpet and do the upholstery in the van. I really like carpeting and upholstering wood. I just think that the aesthetic looks really cool. It's nice and clean. And then I've noticed as when I want to change things up, it's just nice to bolt stuff together, and then later you can take it off, use it, as access panels and stuff like that. That's what I have the battery box designed for. So I can it's modular and kind of take it apart, rewire things that I need to. But thanks so much for the question. If you guys have more questions, I would love to put those into a future video, help answer those to help you out on your van build. So look forward to that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay guys, that's as far as I'm going with the floor. Check out this cap right here. It's a strip. It's really good. Really happy with the way that turned out. And that's it.